This is it. Lads, and lassies, welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, and we're on the final episode of Darling in the Franxx. Whew. Oh man, it's been a journey. It's been a journey, alright. So many epic highs. And so far, to me personally, there have been no lows of the series. And well, we're here now. Hero and Zero Two has become this gigantic Franxx. She's literally the Franxx. It's not a robot, it's like her skin. Hiro's piloting it. They got a bomb, and it's only them. Only them. They're gonna go to the planet of the Verm, or whatever. Blow themselves up, I guess? They're the only ones that can. The rest of the squad, they were forced to stay behind, because they can't go through the warp gate. So I guess they're going back to Earth. And well, I don't really know. I don't know what else. I don't know where this is gonna go. Mitsuru and Kokoro, they put their rings back on. I mean, they're so changed. But man, oh man, I'm just excited to see how this is gonna go. I don't really have much for the pre-discussion. If you want to see my theories and all that, where we're gonna go, hit the or just watch the playlist. There's a playlist that's linked in the beginning in the iCard. Just check that entire thing out. It's been a great 24 episodes, or 23 episodes. This is the 24th one. I'm just excited to go into it. So if you lads want to see my reaction, hit the links down below in the description because of YouTube's copyright system. It's in the description. Just click show more. Boom. You get a couple links. Choose the best one that comes back for you. Then come back for not only the discussion of the episode, but for the final review of the series. I'm excited, so let's get into this, lads. Let's do this. Alright, so that's it. I barely wrote anything down for this. But that was... I've heard a lot of people talk about, like, it's not a good ending. I feel like a lot of people's opinions would have changed when the Verm got introduced, because, to be honest, it's an interesting villain type, but the way that the mystery was going with Darling in the Franxx, I feel like it was too much, especially like when they introduced them. They introduced them like around episode 19, I think. So it was a bit much to introduce and then like wrap up. But man, I don't know, I feel like the story might have been a little okay. Like, I feel maybe if they didn't introduce the Verm and they tried to do something else with like the Klaxosaurs, maybe it would have been received a little bit better. But the characters, man, I'm so glad everyone survived except Hiro and Zero Two, though. That I wish that they could have done it, but the way that the story was going, they needed to die. But like I'm so like there was some times during some episodes I thought, dang, they're kind of setting it up. Maybe this person can die. I can see this person dying, or they can sacrifice themselves. But everyone lived. Everyone lived long lives till the end. Maybe except Ikino. Ikino is a little. So she became like a scientist. She did her research to help the rapid aging of the parasites stop. So they do rapidly age. But I guess Ikino accidentally accelerated herself. Because she didn't look that old, actually. She looked about as old as everyone else, but she was in, like, the hospital bed. She had, the mask next to her, like, the breathing mask next to her, so... I don't know if she became, like, super old, or maybe she just worked herself to, like, the limit. But, man, everyone got their ending. I'm glad that we didn't really get to see Zorome and Miku kind of like be a couple, because it kind of leaves it up in the open. Like, did they not? They were kind of always the ones that like, yeah, that's kind of pushing it, or maybe like they annoy each other more than they love each other. But it's cool. It's a nice relationship, so I'm kind of glad they left it in the open. Like, did they not? Gordo traveling the world. What a man. What an explorer. I love that they gave him that kind of an ending, because he's always kind of like thought of himself as the lone wolf, but Hiro was the one that reined him in. But you know, kind of his calling. He always liked fishing because it kept it quiet. It was alone. Now he's traveling the world, seeing what's out there, seeing if there's anyone left. And 8 years later, he and Ikino, they had a kid. They had a kid, or they're pregnant actually. Such a great ending for everyone. Because Ikino, I love that she was able to move on from Hiro. Like, of course she would, because either he's dead or he's not coming back. She has to know that at least. But I'm glad that she moved on from Hiro. Was able to build a life with Gordo, because that's realistic. You don't like your loved one doesn't. For some people, like it's not like your loved one dies and then like that's it. Like you move on, you heal. And when Gordo kissed her before he went exploring, she went all red. Adorable. Mitsu and Kokoro. Mitsu was probably the biggest turnaround for me. And while Gordo is my favorite character, I think Mitsuru's the most improved. Because, man, I could not stand him at the beginning. I really didn't like him, and now, look at how much my boy's grown, even though he lost his memories. Look at how much my boy's grown. Everyone's my boy. Futoshi, man. He got his own family, too. I'm glad that Futoshi was also able to, like, move on from Kokoro. Like, even though everyone still cares about each other, but they were able to move on. They were able to build their own lives. This is a very satisfying ending, in my opinion. I don't know, I heard that the ending sucked. I think it's just because of the worm. And that's understandable. There's a lot to introduce. And then the gigantic 02 robot was also very weird. But her ending with Hiro, maybe she didn't turn into the robot. Maybe if they were like in there together, like Pilot and Capsule. Was it Pilot and Pill maybe? But if they were in there together and she wasn't the gigantic robot, maybe it would be better perceived. But that is kind of weird though. But man, like their ending together, where they just detonated the bomb. So well done, and just their souls intertwining, and they became the X's that you see in the logo for Darling and the Franxx. There's something really nice about it. I am legitimately surprised at how well this ended, because everything I heard, I've been in the anime community for a bit, but everything I heard, everyone's like, Darling in the Franxx, it starts off good, but it becomes bad. It's not that good. The ending is pretty bad. I really enjoyed it. Like, other than a few things that I think they could have done better, like maybe introduce the worm a little earlier. Maybe have that be the mid-season twist, so we're able to build them up a little bit more, flesh them out. And then the 02 giant robot thing, that's a little bit weird because we never had a precedent for that. But yeah, man. If you tied in the worm to Ape a little bit better, then maybe it could, like maybe if Ape was always worm, then that could have worked out a little bit better. But since it was like only 2 of Ape were worm, and then like everyone else was like, oh shoot, I don't know. There's probably a better way to introduce it, but I'm really satisfied with this ending. The only thing, I feel like they might have been hoping for a season 2, because the worm is like, the worm will always live on. We'll be back. We'll be back. Because as long as life is there, the worm will be there. So I feel like they might have been pushing for a season 2, or we're hoping. Excuse me. If this was a manga first, maybe that's just how the manga author went. If it was an anime first, maybe they were hoping for a season 2. But it's been 3. This was released 2018. It's been 3 years. No signs of a season 2, I think. But my boy Hiro, he's grown so much. To think this all started with him getting rejected as a pilot. Became the best pilot there was. And Naomi came back. After literally sleeping on her for the entire series. She left the first episode. She came back the last episode. You know what? I gotta say, the space battle was probably the weakest part, of the episode. like the weakest part of the episode was Hero 2 and Zero 2. Hero 2 and Zero 2. He has Glock store now, so. But when they were all like yelling, they're like, "You guys can do it," or "I hope you guys are doing it." Like we made it because of you. We were able to do this and all that. I was tearing up during that moment. It's so well done. I love that. That's what brought them back. Like, because Hero and Zero 2's love, that's always been a thing. But I love that their comrades love, the squad's love. I love that was what brought Hero back from the Verm. Man, I'm just really happy with how this ended. I thought people were gonna die. I thought it was gonna be a very depressing ending. But no, it was very wholesome. Maybe you could have done with the. I mean, I get whether because like in Japanese culture, I think reincarnation is a very big thing. So like when they're exes, I guess, like Hero and Zero 2, when their spirits or souls, whatever their like the blue and red thing was, when it came back to Earth, it's like kind of signaling like, and thus they were able to live their lives once again, and that's sweet. And maybe they're not pushing for Zero 2, or maybe they're not pushing for Season 2, because that's kind of like a ending where like they can finally live their lives together. But man, Civilization, you just see in the background of that soccer tree, Civilization grew. It grew fast. So I hope if there ever is a Season 2, I hope it's not the thing where it's like the cycle repeats, like it's a cycle, because that would just suck. But I'm actually kind of sad that we didn't end the series with just the group shot, everyone talking. I understand what they were going for with the whole reincarnation thing, but I feel like the group shot of everyone talking was more powerful than Hero and Zero 2 finding each other again. I feel like their romance. It took me a long time to warm up to Zero 2 in the show, but like everyone else, the strength of this series was the characters. It wasn't the plot, because I feel like for over half of the series, there wasn't really a big plot or a big end game. Like in Gurren Lagann, I'm not gonna spoil anything, so don't worry. But like the first part, like there's like the first 15 episodes, it's like this one plot, and then the next 15 episodes, it's a completely different plot. So it's like it's always moving. So like you're like, oh okay, so here's point A, here's point B. They don't drag it out too long. Then part 2, it's here's point A, here's point B. They don't drag it out. This I feel like, instead of focusing on the plot, instead of focusing on like the Verm backstory, because I feel like from the very beginning, if they made like the Verm this not a threat, but if they kept it in the background, it would have helped out a little bit better. Or maybe there was a few more episodes. The Gurren Lagann split into 27 episodes, with one filler episode, like one backup episode. So it's kind of split pretty evenly, like part 1, part 2. They get about the same amount of episodes-ish. So maybe they had like a few more episodes in here. They would be able to establish part 1, which would be the first 6 episodes, where Hiro's learning to pilot with Zero 2, and then up to episode 15, I guess, which is where Hero and Zero 2 reconnected with each other. Hero's becoming part Klaxor. Then you give 3 more episodes to this back part, flesh out the Verm a little bit more. I feel like that might have been a little bit better. Or it might have helped the pacing out a little bit. But you can tell from the beginning that this story wasn't focused on the grand story, the grand plot. Because there are just episodes in this series where it's literally just the squad talking with each other. It's the cooldown episodes. And the cooldown episodes are some of my favorite episodes of the series. The beach episode, unironically, I love it. Because we get to see everyone interacting with each other after like this gigantic battle, like our first arc with the first 6 episodes. Episode 7 is the beach episode, so we get to see everyone interacting there. We get to see Ichigo kind of talking with Hiro, like how much, like she's trying to confess, but it's just like this very sweet moment. Then the next one, Boys X Girls, or Boys versus Girls, I think it was one of the two. It was like we get to see their dorm lives, how they live day to day. I was also it's like it shouldn't sound well. Maybe it's because I'm a slice of life addict, but it shouldn't like these stuff shouldn't sound entertaining. But it was so good because these characters, I feel for them. They were all so great. And then we got into the next arc, which was Hero and 02 Finding Her Past, which was really good. So I think I think there's something wrong with me because I genuinely enjoyed this series. I think there's a lot of highs. There's like near the end, there's a little bit of questioning, like okay, maybe you could have done this better, but it didn't ruin it. It didn't ruin the show like I thought it would. And then another thing, everyone hates Ichigo for some reason. Everyone like trashes on her. She's great. It's like there's this one person in a group chat. They're like, Ichigo tried to like sabotage the relationship between 02 and Hiro. So I was waiting for something terrible to happen, but it felt all really human. I was waiting for some like CW type of drama where it's like, like why? Like you don't have to do. It felt very human. And like Ichigo, and like Ichigo was the bigger person for not holding a grudge against 02, for taking Hiro, and she like accepted it. She accepted it. I have to say like episode 15 maybe. But yeah, Gordo was a champ, MVP of the series, and yeah, I was expecting something really dirty from Ichigo for the entire series because of everything, like all the hate I've heard from her. But I guess just because she's in a love triangle between 02 and Hiro. But she's the one in the love triangle I cared about the most. I ended up caring about the most in that triangle. Gordo, #1 character. I care about him the most for sure. Like when he confessed, like the episode, like yeah, sure they fought a Cloxosaur, but the episode where he confessed, not a lot of action. It was just Gordo's episode. So nice. This is so good. Man. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the twist with the Cloxosaur. I think the twist with the Cloxosaur, that they kept something like that going, that would have been really cool. Maybe like take it down from the space battle. It would have changed the entire ending. But maybe like if you made humanity the invaders, that would have been a very interesting concept. Like the humanity invaded, Cloxosaurs went underground. It's been so long. It's been so long since it happened that just history kind of forgot about it. And then when they started digging up the magma energy, the Cloxosaurs came back with a vengeance. Then they started using the Cloxosaurs against each other. The upper echelon, the immortals, they were like, forget it. Like we've always been here. This is our planet now. Cloxosaurs are an ancient disease. And then we have the squad joining the Cloxosaurs. I feel like that would have been, if they kept the Cloxosaur twist there, and like the squad joined the Cloxosaurs in the fight against the upper echelon and humanity, I feel like that might have been a little more powerful. But it would have changed the entire outcome of the series. And I think probably the biggest problem is that they introduced the Cloxosaur twist and the Verm twist at the same time. Maybe if you had like a cooldown, again, like 3 more episodes, if like a cooldown period, Cloxosaur twist, a couple more episodes, the Verm twist. I think that might have helped out a little bit. But man, I cannot wait to rewatch this. I'm gonna have so much fun rewatching this show now. I'm so glad I decided to react to this. This was the series that I chose like to do after Gurren Lagann, even though a lot of you guys said do Kill la Kill. I am doing Kill la Kill, by the way. It's going out concurrently with Darling in the Franxx. Darling in the Franxx is a little bit ahead of it. But yeah, I decided to do Kill la Kill as a separate anime reaction since so many of you guys asked for that. So I am going through that on the channel. But yeah, I'm so glad I decided to do this series because I am very satisfied with the ending. Is it as good as Gurren Lagann? No. Gurren Lagann is easily within the top 10 animes I've ever seen. It could also very easily go in the top 5. I don't know what my top 5 is, but Gurren Lagann is a very big contender. Is it as good? Not in my opinion. Did I have as much fun with it? Definitely. Gurren Lagann is more light-hearted, but also has mature themes in there. This is more serious. It's more gritty. I mean, they're so different, but I had the same exact amount of fun here. I had more hype with Gurren Lagann, but this was different. It wasn't a hype show. This is more of a character study drama in sci-fi. But yeah, did I enjoy it? Heck yeah. I'm so glad I watched it. The next show I'm going to be doing next week, the show that will be taking Darling in the Franxx's place, is going to be Akame ga Kill. That's also been on my watch list for a very long time. So basically, these Tuesday reactions are just me going down my anime watch list. And I can't wait. I'm going down my anime watch list with shows that I think that will be good to react to. So I'm interested to see what Akame ga Kill is about. I've heard quite a bit about it, but I'm so happy with how this ended. If I could just change one thing, I would forget about the reincarnation thing. I know that's beautiful, but we kind of got that with the whole 02 statue breaks and the flower comes out of it. And that's kind of like the reincarnation. I guess that's a hint towards it. And I get that they're trying to go with like the whole like, and thus the journey continues with these two. Or like they found each other again. But I think it was more powerful, at least for me. Maybe because I wasn't really invested in Hiro and 02's relationship for a majority of the series. But it would have been a more powerful ending with just everyone standing under the sakura tree, thanking Hiro and 02, saying that they were able to live their lives. Man, this series ended so differently from how it began. Now, I think that's it, lads. I loved this show. So good. Such a ride, such a journey. So if you like this, I already said I did Gurren Lagann, so check out those reactions. Check out The Promised Neverland, check out Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia. Going through all of it. With Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia, I'm actually going through that with Mikaya. And those are some of his first animes. So if you want to see a newbie weeb in the making, maybe not a weeb, but just like a newbie into like the anime kind of culture, check that out. It's actually pretty fun. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week with Akame ga Kill. But until then, I'm going to be thinking about this Darling in the Franxx ending in some good ways. Some good ways. The human stuff was the best part of the show. The characters. I didn't really care about the space battle at the end. It wasn't really done too... I had kind of like the same complaints last episode. It's kind of just like a lot of explosions, not a lot of action. But the human element, I just loved seeing stuff on Earth with these characters. And I'm glad that all these characters lived. I was so worried that some of them would die, but I'm glad that the entire squad was able to live. So, lads, I've been Josh, and great show. Great show. I hope you guys enjoyed the reactions, but I'll see you all, lads, next week for more.